Star Citizen Alpha 3.18 hits a major milestone with its cargo refactor. So this physicalizes commodity cargo and makes 1 SCU boxes, so the larger cargo containers, movable, interactable, and you can use a tractor beam to sort of place them around. And this replaces the smaller cargo boxes that were interactable where sensible, so those smaller ones are still going to exist in game. It also revamps all of the trade kiosks to make them a lot more usable for budding haulers. We now have a load more details on the refactor beyond this, with a cargo AMA, Ask Me Anything, that Cloud Imperium devs had on Spectrum on the 8th of November 2022. So let's take a look at those questions and answers. Are there any new commodities coming in Alpha 3.18? The only new addition currently planned is RMC, Recycled Materials Composite, which you get from hull scraping. This can then be sold at commodity kiosks. Will loading timers be part of Alpha 3.18? At the moment, nothing changes with loading and unloading. This is handled automatically, as it has been in the past. Once manual loading and unloading becomes a reality, you will have the option to choose between the two. If you choose to have a location do the loading and unloading there for you, it will be at a time and cost. Your ship will be unavailable during the time that it's sort of having the cargo unloaded until the process is fully completed, much like the current refinery gameplay. Are we getting any dynamic pricing changes to commodities? Commodity prices will not change for 3.18, mainly because if we did it now, we would have to do it all over again as soon as we added manual loading and unloading to the loop. Loading and unloading will dramatically change the whole commodity trading loop. Are larger cargo containers still planned with the refactor, like the ones that are supposed to be on the raft, the 32 SCU boxes? Why just the 1 SCU boxes? Why not 10 SCU boxes for even fewer entities? Larger than 1 SCU containers are still planned, but at the moment everything is still bought and sold as 1 SCU cargo containers. When it comes to the cargo refactor and piracy, what have you thought to encourage player-to-player boarding actions with this feature? With 3.18, we are introducing the concept of soft death. There is a 70% chance a vehicle will die with its interior and cargo intact from combat deaths. Explosive deaths or deaths by game rules near a barrier or touching water, for example, won't trigger a soft death. What this means is 70% of the time, you and your crew are still going to be alive, and the cargo is still attached to the ship when a combat death occurs. So if your ship reaches 0 health. The 30% of the time this doesn't happen, your ship will explode and the cargo is then pushed out, and then 0 to 90% of that cargo remains, with the average being 45% of cargo surviving. So Cloud Imperium have confirmed that that is the plan with 3.18. So there's a 70% chance that when your ship explodes, you will not die. Although it does appear to be only ships that have some form of interior. So fighters, you are probably still going to just explode when your ship health reaches 0. Do I need to neatly stack boxes all square in order to register them correctly? Containers are snapped to the grid when they're placed in the ship. Anything in the ship or attached to the grid will be able to be sold at a commodity kiosk. Buying cargo works just like it does now. You purchase from a kiosk, that cargo is loaded into the ship automatically and attached to the grid. Once outside of an armistice zone, you are free to move it around and snap it to the grid with a tractor beam however you want. Example, a cutlass. I buy 46 SCU of goods, so it's full. On my way, I found a wreck and recover 10 boxes of 1 SCU, which I then deposit in my ship. On arrival to the TDD, would I see 46 or 56 SCU? Well, you would have a hard time making it fit, but sure, the cargo grid has a max capacity. Anything else is considered loose items, and if they are on the ship, you can sell them. This is not to be confused with the FPS items such as guns, ammunition, stims, armor, etc. Those are technically in a third inventory in your ship, although I do have plans for that stuff as well. Are the external cargo pods of the Prospector, Mole and Raft going to be detachable and replaceable? If not, what happens to the mined ore and cargo aboard these if they are destroyed? Currently, all of these ships will function similarly to how they do now once 3.18 comes online. Resource pods such as saddlebags or fuel pods won't be detachable in this release, as further work on vehicle tractor beams is required. Regarding external cargo, such as the hull and raft, these will detach upon destruction. New cargo missions were mentioned for post 3.18. What are these missions going to be like and how will they work? After 3.18, we want to separate commodity trading from cargo hauling. Commodity trading will be high risk, high reward. If you invest a large amount of your money, you will also have to manage the cost of loading and unloading as well as protection. On the other hand, cargo hauling is just moving things for NPCs from point A to B, and you're not tied to it financially. The first step here will be adding cargo hauling missions that extend the current box delivery missions. Once you can manually load and unload your own cargo, they will start small and get larger, and the only thing players are risking is reputation. Will cargo containers stolen by pirates be recognised by buyers as being stolen? If so, what happens if I willingly transfer my cargo to another player to sell it for me? When a player purchases commodities, those are owned by the player that purchases them. Anyone else trying to sell them will have to use a no questions asked terminal, and they will not receive full price for anything that they're trying to sell. Even if I give a cargo container to a friend, they would have to sell it to a no questions asked terminal, and they would not get full price for the commodity. Grimhex, for example, would be a location I could fence my stolen goods at. I would love to be able to buy 1 or 2 SCU boxes to be able to put whatever we want in them. Would make sort of like org events easier. We could buy all the armor for ground battles, extra weapons and ammo, etc. Will this be a thing at some point? Cloud Imperium want that too, to be able to buy and create those boxes. On top of that, they want to be able to carry those around loot bunkers, fill them up, and then snap them to the cargo grid once you're back on your ship. They also want us to be able to do all this and then go back to a station and then go sell off all of the items without having to transfer it all to the station's local inventory in order to do so. That said, it probably won't make it into 3.18 but it will be a thing at some point. Will cargo boxes have any kind of signatures that can then be picked up by sort of scanners and pings? Cargo containers can be scanned, and AR markers will be present if they survive the explosion. We also have added coloured tints to the containers, so you can at least identify what category they belong to, such as metals or processed goods. Boom! That's it for your cargo update today. So Alpha 3.18 does have some important changes, but it really sort of paves the way for cargo gameplay in the future. That said, the addition of those interactable and movable 1SU boxes is going to improve cargo, as is the ability for crews 70% of the time to survive their ship being reduced to 0 health. That means you're going to have boarding. That means you're going to have much better piracy gameplay, reasons to actually do that. If someone does attack you and sort of take out your ship, well, now you're going to be able to defend it as they board. I think that's pretty cool. But what do you think? Are you excited for the cargo updates coming in Alpha 3.18? Were you expecting to see ships actually survive being reduced to 0 health pre the sort of physicalization of components? Are you a greedy little pirate licking their lips at the thought of more looting that's going to be done? Are you worried that there's going to be far too much piracy in 3.18? Or are you excited for all those changes? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, if you want to see more on that cargo refactor, check out the video linked below too.
Hello, I'm Winston Churchill, and I use NordVPN to defend the Internet Empire. We will fight the ants on the beaches. We shall fight on the Internet. We shall fight the trackers and the malware. Whether we want to watch Netflix for another country or have greater accessibility to the Internet, we will defend our island home. At any rate, that is what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Winston Churchill. What? What do you mean, Tin? That wasn't Winston Churchill? Point still stands. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer to get yourself discounted NordVPN, or use the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, we're giving away a Crusader Spirit C1. It's a fantastic looking multi-role ship that can fit a vehicle in the back or a load of cargo, and it looks really cool. It's got loads of forward-facing weaponry and a tractor beam. As it's a concept ship though, the winner will have a Cutlass back in the meantime as a loaner. It comes with access to the game and lifetime insurance too, so bam! Even if you don't have Star Citizen stuff yet, you can get straight into the game with this. It's all you need. Just comment on any of my videos this month to be in for a chance of winning. A massive thank you to everyone that has used the join button under my videos to become a channel member, and my Patreons. You guys are awesome. It really does help the channel. Please consider becoming one of those lovely people too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.